Hello and welcome to Entelechy. I'm sure that all of you are the ultimate version of yourselves with all of your potential fully actualized. The presentation today about Entelechy is by me, David Carter, the founder and chairman of Entelechy, and my colleague, our chief strategy officer, Kaylin Cavallo.
Indeed, Stefan.
Yeah, thank you so much for both of you to be with us. It's the second day of One Startup World Conference. As you know, it's the heart of innovation and the rocket ship for startup. It is also, as we will see today with two of you, a mind-blowing, rich and enthusiastic set of entrepreneurs that comes with groundbreaking ideas and bold visionary to change the way we conduct business from now and in the future. Just before I give you the floor to go through the entire ecosystem that you are going to present to us, I want to highlight one thing. David, you have an amazing background. Actually, I studied a little bit your background. You are like me, you are dyslexic, I think, if I'm not wrong, and you are rugby players and has been an amazing rugby players when you started your career. And I think those things, make your credo extremely important, which is make yourself useful, make sure that you try to become a better version of yourself, which is a book I think you wrote. All of those different components leads to today's amazing SaaS platform that you are going to present. And I'm extremely excited to listen to you and to hear about how you intend to make all of us a better version of ourselves. So the floor is yours now, but thank you very much for this second day.
Thank you very much for inviting us. Hello and welcome to Entelechy. I'm sure that all of you are the ultimate version of yourselves with all of your potential fully actualized. The presentation today about Entelechy is by me, David Carter, the founder and chairman of Entelechy, and my colleague, our chief strategy officer, Kaylin Cavallo.
Indeed, Stefan.
Yeah, thank you so much for both of you to be with us. It's the second day of One Startup World Conference. As you know, it's the heart of innovation and the rocket ship for startup. It is also, as we will see today with two of you, a mind-blowing, rich and enthusiastic set of entrepreneurs that comes with groundbreaking ideas and bold visionary to change the way we conduct business from now and in the future. Just before I give you the floor to go through the entire ecosystem that you are going to present to us, I want to highlight one thing. David, you have an amazing background. Actually, I studied a little bit your background. You are like me, you are dyslexic, I think, if I'm not wrong, and you are rugby players and has been an amazing rugby players when you started your career. And I think those things, make your credo extremely important, which is make yourself useful, make sure that you try to become a better version of yourself, which is a book I think you wrote. All of those different components leads to today's amazing SaaS platform that you are going to present. And I'm extremely excited to listen to you and to hear about how you intend to make all of us a better version of ourselves. So the floor is yours now, but thank you very much for this second day.
Thank you very much for inviting us. So Entelechy, I'm sure all of the listeners and viewers are already the Entelechy of themselves, the ultimate version with all of their potential fully actualized. My co-presenter is Kaylin Cavallo, our chief strategy officer, and let's move straight into the problem. Despite the fact you are all the Entelechy of yourselves, sadly throughout the whole developed industrial world, in every sector, every size of company, companies just cannot find the people they need with the right combination of technical and human or work-ready skills. In the UK, neither the government nor the Confederation of British Industry have found a solution to this problem, which costs the UK economy £22 billion every single year. So in the UK, our TAM is 2.7 million UK companies with over 33 million employees. Our SAM is 7,659 of those companies who employ more than 250 people, each on average receiving training expenditure of £1,600 per year. Over the next 4 years, we believe our serviceable obtainable market is 13% of those companies, or 1,000 companies, who employ just over 250,000 people, 2.4% of the working population, and that's our target SOM by the end of 2028. Over the last 10 years, employers have not been able to find the people with the right work-ready skills. $3 billion a year is spent annually on training and development to solve the problem, but it's yielded either a negative or zero return on investment. And it hasn't worked because there is a missing domain of character which underpins the development of all skills. So we have built the world's first character-based development experience by helping companies become a company of character, unlocking the human core of their people through character to improve productivity, profit, and purpose. There are 54 character qualities which underpin the development of every skill, in particular the 77 in-demand soft skills required by employers that underpin 16 universally accepted career aspirations. We assess what is we assess what is learned and applied, not what is taught. Lots of companies send their people off on a time management course and 6 months later realize there's no improvement in time management. That's because they've not taught the people to be accountable, disciplined, organized, reliable, efficient, and responsible, which are 6 of our 54 character qualities. There isn't a company anywhere on the planet that wouldn't benefit from an improvement in any one of these 54 character qualities. But imagine if you could get all of your employees to be more self-aware, collaborative, resilient, analytical, encouraging, or pioneering. You would drive the profitability and productivity of your business hugely through that one endeavor. Anyway, let me hand you over to Kaelan, who's going to give you a walk through the product.
Thank you, David. Thank you, everyone, for joining. So yeah, let's dive straight into how Entelechy really addresses this. So I'm going to show the 2 products that we have, Discover and Transform. Discover is a diagnostic tool set that is absolutely unprecedented. What we do is analyze the character of every individual in the company to then understand the character of the company overall. We produce 15 million points of data in doing so. So we're entering an established market ripe for disruption with Myers-Briggs, Color Insights, DISC, Strength Finder. You might have done those yourselves. You might have given them money for one of the businesses that you support. They're all personality profiling services, and we are disrupting them through character. I'm going to show you a little bit more as to why. We take the leaders through workshops and consultative-led approaches. We take the people through automated technology to understand their perspective, and we measure everyone in terms of their character qualities. That's over an 8-week process where we really make sure we can help everyone understand their character and then take action on it to drive business performance. So leaders gain impactful workshops and rich reporting through our expert consultation, and ultimately get a roadmap to transform their organizations, given that this is a diagnostic. And every person gains a personalized report with interactive dashboards. They get high quality feedback from their networks in a 360 and a customized action plan to make change for good. So let's look at that in a bit more detail. Our platform's available on all technology devices, as you might imagine, and I'm going to walk you through what that really looks and feels like. So we measure an individual and how they perceive themselves, their 180, and we can see here the 6 categories that arc those 54 character qualities. If we drill into personal character qualities, pointing to the northeast there, we can see how they measure their character qualities against an algorithm that is specific to them, their own scale of measurement in their own character. We overlay that with 360, which is the information we gain from their loved ones, their colleagues, their management, in order to see how their network and their wisdom of the crowd sees their same perspective. So again, here, thinking about resilience, they believe they're very resilient. Their network does not believe quite as much. So there's lots to be learned in getting that kind of reality check. And we always make sure that's accessible with the really easy chart on the right-hand side here that's showing that maybe there's more work to do on being more grounded, one of the 54 qualities, that it always comes with narrative and coaching to help develop someone. So the wisdom of the crowd might architect all of these as your strengths, but you'll then be able to drill into what's the context and the qualitative feedback that helps you really understand and make developmental change. Our artificial intelligence then applies actions that can be taken in order to have that person grow in those character qualities and make a difference to their character key. This is one of the dozens of graphs that are in our interactive reports that really helps someone be curious about what they're looking at. The longer the line, the bigger the distance between their view and the view of their network. So they can really filter and explore these, drilling down and across to really understand what this information means in a really meaningful way. Our competitors will write you 37 pages of report like your own book. We want to make sure this is interactive and visual and modern in helping someone truly unlock with their character key. We organize all of the character qualities into 4 categories of action to make sure, for instance, if we're accountable, we individually believe it's a strength and our community believes it's a strength, we're going to live it. And there's some actions here that are accountable for it. In the calm, I believe I'm really good at that. My network doesn't think I'm calm. What can I do? Here's a recommended action to help me make sure I can share the strength that I believe I have much more with my network to see it change in the future. We charge just £50 a person for this report, which is 30% below the cheapest on the market. So we are going with a higher quality product, but making sure we're being disruptive to take that market share and grow in quite an old industry. It's a minimum 200 order, and we've made it a really low entry point for companies to join us with a minimum deal size of 17,500. Now, if that is a diagnostic product, Transform is the remedy. So that's a year-long subscription where we, once we've created that diagnostic, we don't want to do something about it. So beyond the actions that are in Discover, we give them the Entelechy app, which guides them through all of their character quality development with an internal social network, content community, AI-supported action plans, and really making sure the company can grow together. An individual can check this app out in the App Store. We're currently live with it. And indeed, an individual can grow in the character qualities they want to grow, as well as the character qualities the company want to see grow to really drive profit and purpose. Now, I mentioned that we're AI-powered. We do that in a few different ways. So our AI system prioritizes all qualitative feedback that comes from a 360 to make sure it's the most meaningful for the learner. We predict talent trends at an organizational level. Not only do we provide the character key I quickly showed you a teeny glimpse of, we provide the aggregated reporting for every line manager and strategic leader in the organization. So we can predict talent trends and productivity. We can see what it takes to be the most high-performing salesperson from a character point of view, what the well-being is of the organization. We can measure diversity, equality, and inclusion in a totally new way. That's all done by our AI predictive analytics engine. And indeed, our content coach is our generative AI system, which helps be in conversation with the learner to answer their questions, help them grow, and point them to onward resources. Now, there's no direct competitors to this. I mentioned about some of the competitors we enter with our Discover product, but no one has an actionable product like Transform off the back of it. We don't really compete with anyone in any one market. We really make sure we've got good spread for a strong growth. That's led to our 3 key USPs. We are beyond the labels. You know, Myers-Briggs Color Insights will put you into up to 16 static boxes. We've got 15 million possibilities that are powered by our AI. We use the wisdom of the crowd rather than some static single pseudoscience from the 1960s. This is always based on the individual's perspective and the context of the community that knows them best. And it's always action orientated. If you've ever done one of those reports yourself, you'll know what you are, but it may not have led to any change or any increase in performance. We are making sure we're programming the action to make sure it drives change for the business and grows the character of the individual. This is why it's been accredited by sector leading bodies and awarding organizations and has powered us into real momentum, launching our app in November last year, building our data strategy in February, of which we in April grew our marketing and sales function in order to really scale up. And we've just launched all of the data platforms ready for release. In the last 100 days, we built this sales pipeline, which you can see on screen, from nothing, and we've reduced our cost per acquisition in that time frame by more than 78%. all of these companies have been attracted in that process and are moving through our sales procedure. And what's really powerful about them is they are really powerful brands that have a lot to gain from character. But also we measure all of our sales projections based on one company bringing just 250 employees. And as you can see, lots of these companies are way bigger than that. Our first year target for any organization is 22,000 total employees. And one of these deals could make our whole year number. We're already closing on 4 of our contracts. The Tate, as in the Tate Galleries, a very prestigious brand, are already doing a trial with us for 200 Discover licenses. John Lewis, a massive retail partnership with 5,000 seats, are taking a trial of one of their divisions of Discover. GB Rail Freight are taking 400 Discover seats for their entire organization to go through. Dorchester Collection, the hotel chain, have taken 100 Transform licenses after a successful trial for all of their leaders, scaling to 3,000 over time. We've got a lot to be excited about. I will hand you back to David.
Thank you very much indeed, Kalen. So, over the last couple of years, we've assembled the most amazing team of subject matter experts in all the key areas. The team in the UK is now 22, and we have a team of 15 people based in India who run all of our technology. All of the senior leadership team positions are now filled, and it's only the pink blobs in this org chart that will be recruiting more junior positions over the next 6 to 12 months as we scale and grow and generate more and more revenues. In January this year, we were delighted to appoint Alan Greenberg, who was the CEO of Apple Education, to be our head of strategic partnerships. Alan and I are already working on 2 super exciting JVs in India, both worth more than £1 million, both with employers with more than 250,000 employees. And we're looking at other areas around the world too. We've got 40 blue chip advisory board and investors, including people like Peter Pereira Gray, who managed 50 billion for the Wellcome Trust, David Brown, co-founder of the highly successful global Oxford International Education Group, and Francis Hornack, who's a 40-year veteran serial angel investor who's invested £2.6 million into the company and joined the board as a very proactive non-executive director. We are now in the process of closing out our final ever funding round. We set out to raise £5 million by the 31st of July. We've already got 90% of that secured. This leaves a final £500,000. And by the completion of round 2 in a few months' time, we will have a £2.5 million cash balance, which is a lot more than a year's runway. And we plan to exit the business in 4 years' time via an IPO, where we are confident we can generate a 25x ROI for our investors. Not only that, but we're also in a luxury position where we can guarantee a doubling of our share price over the next 3 or 4 months. One of the commitments for £2.5 million to this round has also agreed to do a secondary at £10 a share, and we're also planning to list our shares on the JP Jenkins match bargain basis platform on the 1st of November at £10 a share, which is double the current share price. So over the next 4 years, as we lead up to our IPO, we are confident we can achieve at least 45 million of revenues, which will be 38 million in revenues from the serviceable, obtainable market that Kalen spoke to earlier in the UK, plus £8 million plus strategic partnerships, the first 2 of which we've already got lined up for the end of this year. That will generate 26 million of EBIT and justify the 25x ROI share price. In the next 12 months, we've got 3 company-wide agreed goals. We want to break even on a monthly basis as soon as possible, which we're confident we'll do in October and November. We want to break even for the full financial year at the EBT level, and we want to have retained our £2.5 million cash balance by the end of our financial year. The final £500,000 is 100,000 shares at £5 a share, which will represent 3.42% of the company. And there are 5 reasons to invest in Entelechy. We've got an amazing team with over 100 years of subject matter expertise and experience in our market. We've got a unique, powerful proposition, Our AI-powered technology and insight platforms are truly genuinely unique and innovative. The service of our SAM in the UK is £3 billion a year, with obviously much greater opportunities as we scale into global markets. And highly unusually, the listing will double the share price within 4 months. So not only are we interested in talking to you about investment, but we'd obviously also love to talk to some of you about your organizations becoming companies of character. And also perhaps there's some strategic partners out there who can help us grow in different parts of the world. So thank you very much. Get in touch. Love to chat to you. And thank you very much indeed from Kaelan and myself in inviting us to participate today.
Wow. Wow. As I said, clearly mind-blowing, groundbreaking idea was my introduction, and bold visionary, led by industry leading entrepreneurs. Here you have it. You have the three combined to design the future of self-development. I mean, this is an incredible, extremely sharp, very well delivered message. So thank you for both of you. Unfortunately, we are running a little bit out of time because we mixed the demo inside the pitch, but I think the end delivery was fantastic. It was very, very powerful and very clear. I mean, I only have maybe one question, which I can see from the audience here. They are challenging us a little bit on the AI side and suggesting that potentially the AI at one point in time could replace some of the functionalities of Entelechy. What do you think about that question?
Well, let me go first and let Kaelan answer as well. But we're using AI in a number of different ways to enhance human intelligence. And the whole thrust of our business is to develop human intelligence. And so we don't want the world to be taken over by AI and robots. We want the world to still be run by human beings, and we need to develop those human beings to optimize their potential, their Entelechy, in order to compete with the AI taking over the world.
Kaelan, do you want to add something? No? Perfect. Listen, you know what I really liked was the applications mobile app. I mean, and the fact that you are bringing the CEO of the trading department of Apple with you, or even the unit, is a very powerful thing. I think that the convenience and the proximity of that tool will make such a difference. Because today, as you mentioned earlier, Clem, it's too complicated. It's 37 pages. It's getting lost in the weed, or whatever. But your tool, you know, makes it extremely accessible and clearly will help people with simplicity to better understand who they are and how they can perform. So thank you very much for both of you. I'm convinced that this is not the last time that we are going to have this conversation here at One Startup World. So we're very, very pleased to have you both. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you very much indeed.